Hey everybody, Desmond Dark here, and we're going to be checking out The Long Dark for PlayStation 4. So Long Dark is another survival game. Puts you as the survivor of a plane crash. You are surviving in the mountain wilderness of Canada. It is kind of a desolate, snowy region. I shouldn't even say kinda, it is definitely a snowy region. That is going to be one of your hardest factors to survival, is temperature and cold, along with the wildlife, of course, and your typical hunger or thirst. Okay, so Long Dark here. It offers you 3 main modes of play. The first is what's called Wintermute, which is your story mode. It leaves you with... There's 5 episodes or 5 chapters. Currently we only have 3 out of the 5. They have not released the last 2 yet at the time of this video. Can't wait until we get the full release of it though. In the story mode, you're going to play as a main character that actually has a story going on. You'll meet NPCs throughout the world. There is a bit of decisions to make. It also seems to be maybe a little more forgiving in the survival aspect, although I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, it has a story going on that kind of almost seems to put like a story to what's going on in the world and almost kind of explains some things in a way. I don't really want to say that because as far as it's got so far, I don't necessarily have any answers. The next is the basic survival mode, which this is pretty self-explanatory. You are going to basically just see how long you can survive. The next mode is a challenge mode. Basically has different challenges for you to try to complete. Like this one, just recover the distress missile from the summit of Timberwolf Mountain, fire it from the top. Just basic challenges to complete, and they give you like certain badges that can be used. For this review, we're just going to be using survival mode because I don't want to give away anything of the story, any spoilers, and we're just kind of discussing the game. I do recommend playing the story mode though if you have the game. It is interesting so far what we have. The different difficulties, and this kind of applies to no matter what game mode you're playing here, they vary quite differently from difficulty to difficulty. The difference between just Pilgrim and Voyager is extremely drastic, and they each almost involve their own playstyle. If you look, you can find other people's videos kind of breaking this down a little more and into how it works. I'm not really going to go into it. I haven't played with it. I just do know that they are different. We're going to be using Pilgrim just because Voyager, I would have to focus so hard on surviving that I'd barely be able to show things the way I want to show them. So we're going to go with Pilgrim because the survival aspect is much easier, and I just want to make sure we start off with that so you understand why wildlife is not attacking me and it's a lot easier. This happened, there's been a recent update, so if this map looks different, that is why. There's actually just an update to it, changed how this map went, and it actually added in Ash Canyon up here in the top right. That is a new place. So we're going to start at a nice, easy... this is Mystery Lake. It's ideal for your new players, a nice balanced place. When you start a new game, you get to select any feats, but these you have to earn, like completing 250 hours of research. The only one I have right now is Free Runner. I've sprinted 31.1 miles, so sprinting burns less calories. Depending on your difficulty, changes how many of these feats you can activate. Each new game always starts with some quote from a book as well. I love these. I shouldn't necessarily say a book, but always some sort of quote that kind of applies to the game a bit in this situation. It's an interesting touch. When you start in survival mode, you're going to spawn somewhere random. I actually got somewhere really good. I spawned inside a building. This doesn't happen often. So, the first thing, normally when you start, you're going to immediately want to try to find shelter. That would be your first goal. As I spawned in a shelter, I don't have to worry about it as much because your stats will start dropping so fast, especially on the higher difficulties. They're going to drop so fast, it's not even funny. So the main thing you're going to want to keep track of is your stats. You can see them down here at the bottom left. Our first is going to be our temperature. That's of course pretty basic. It's affected by things like your clothes that you're wearing. As you can see, they affect temperature, wind, water, And then the shield is like biting, and the running man is like how much it drains your stamina, affects your stamina. And then of course the weight, or condition, and then the weight. But like this stuff affects your temperature and how much it's going to go. Wind will cause it to drop, blizzards cause it to drop. Being wet, being frozen, that can cause it to drop faster. When it bottoms out, you are at a hypothermia risk, and it's definitely the main thing you're gonna have to contend with in this game, I would say. It's definitely the hard one. You can see a breakdown here of your stats. You can see the warmth bonus from your clothes, your windproof bonus, your protection against damage, and your sprint, like how much it's affected. You can also see a breakdown of any stats you have here: the air temperature, the wind chill, what it feels like, your stats, how many calories you have, because that matters, and if you have any afflictions like a sprained wrist or pain or headaches, anything like that. The next is going to be your energy. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just sleep to bring it back up. It goes down the more you're up. There is also like coffee. Yeah, see, I have some coffee here, and energy drinks, although sometimes they can come with a penalty of a headache. Running will make it lower faster, moving makes it lower. But like I said, just doing things pretty much lowers it. It's always lowering, but as you sleep, it comes back up. The next is thirst, which is probably going to be your main one next to the cold. It does always seem like you need water, and it's got to be potable water. If it's not, you can get sick from drinking it. The catch is here, there is snow everywhere, so like you can always make water, but you have to boil it to melt the snow, and then you have to boil it again to make it clean enough to drink. There's also tablets you can find that will allow you to add the water to clean them up, and of course you could drink soda. Other things will also fill it up. There's certain foods that are also hydrating. The next is your hunger, which again, self-explanatory. It's also going to be your food. Some stuff will fill both your hunger and your thirst. You kind of just learn what to eat. Meat is probably one of your more beneficial things. It's going to fill your hunger quicker, but it only fills your hunger. Some things, of course, like jerky, are going to drop your thirst as well while you eat them, because they're a dry treat, you know, all that fun stuff. Now, once you find shelter, your main thing is just going to be looting. You're always going to be looting, but you are extremely limited on space. If you look in the top left there, you'll see I have 12.63 out of 66 pounds. It does not take long to hit that 66 pounds. A lot of your necessary tools are like 11 pounds. A lot of stuff's just going to be used for starting fires, and you don't necessarily need it. I just kind of like to gather as I go. If you are in the story mode, you don't need to do this. This isn't a thing. But if you are in survival, you need to take this charcoal, because it is actually used for mapping. And this will mark some stuff like cattails, branches, sometimes backpacks. The workbenches, these can be found to craft different things, as you can see here. There are all sorts of things you can craft. Some of them require certain tools, though, to make. Can of gunpowder. I highly recommend turning on the auto walk. This game, you kind of move slow. The maps are large. It takes a lot of time to cover it. Your stamina will be running out a lot. So it's just kind of easy to just keep running. You can run till your stamina runs out. At the beginning, it's not so bad. And then while you're waiting on it to build up, it'll just keep walking you. So normally, you get anywhere close to them, even from here, they might be starting to get aggressive. On Pilgrim, they'll run from you. This game, though, has a wonderful art style that's just really unique. It's not one you really see anywhere else, and I just got to give it a lot of credit for that. It gives it a real interesting feel in this mix of artistic and survival because it's almost super real. As you can see with like the temperature and the wet and all that stuff. Like, it's almost realistic with what it makes you keep track of. But yet you're in this fantastical looking world of art. You always want to go in these places and look.
I'm not sure why I feel so tired.
Because you never know what you might find. The difficulty can actually change. The music is also extremely unique. Each now we're about within the distance, I'd say, that I was from the other exit, possibly. There we go. Now I definitely feel like I am. So that was 6 minutes, 12 seconds. So roughly 6.5 to 7 minutes to cross the map. Ooh, that actually looks like something nice. Snare, you can set those up to find rabbits. Your temperature, your sleeping, your food, your thirst.